Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. It is going to be TiMofan and Infi going up against 15 Sui and Sini. Let's go ahead and break things down in this matchup. Infi, well, no, that's not Infi. I believe this is 15 Sui here spawning as the Teal Night Elf at the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Sini spawning as the Teal Orc over here at the 9 o'clock position. Off to the north, we have Infi spawning as the Red Orc, and then finally TiMofan spawning as the Red Human. Just gonna try and call them by their color and by their race throughout the match, throughout the rest of the match. It's just so you guys don't get confused. The colors off to the north here are actually a little bit different. 15 Sui and Sini are that teal combination. Meanwhile, TiMofan and Infi are that red color off to the north here. So if you guys are trying to follow in on the action, that is what's going on. This 2v2 matchup being brought to you by, I believe, a 2v2 Cup, 4200 2v2 Cup. Don't know much about the tournament, to be honest, but always interested to see high-level 2v2 play, something that you don't get to see very often in a tournament setting. Mainly, those tournaments are really focusing on 1v1, and well, I really thought for the benefit of Warcraft 3 and the benefit for esports in general, if there was actually a way to try and bring in teams. As opposed to, or the teams that you compete with and you're sponsored by, as opposed to just constantly trying to play under individual names. When you have a team that you're constantly cheering for, as players get traded, players get moved, players come and go, you can still stay loyal to your team. And you can almost have like, well, a 2v2 team and then a 1v1 players try to go up head to head and see who comes out on top. Anyways, let's go ahead and, well, begin the action here. Teal Night Elf gonna go ahead and clear out this south side position. Those Forest Troll Shadow Priests should be able to do a pretty good job, or will get taken down by those Treants, and then those Treants should make their way to those Forest Troll Berserkers and remaining units. This location here does bode well for the Night Elf to expand. Meanwhile, off to the north, Infi, well, not going to be able to expand at this 12 o'clock spot nearly as much. Archmage could try and expand here at the 3 o'clock position, but he is then going to be relatively close as the crow flies from this Night Elf starting location as well. It looks as though there are expansions on the table as the Spirit Wolves are now looking to put in pressure on these peons. All right, little bit of damage getting added in. Grunt now joining in on the battle here as we see an Entangle catching a Footman out of position and getting taken down. Meanwhile, Farseer has tried to clear out some of those center creep camp locations, now being forced to try and, well, keep this base alive. Those Orc Burrows, Peons, a lot of home-based defense working hard. Thanks for casting 2v2. Well, you are very welcome, Dave. Well, shout out to Metaphysics for bringing me exciting, interesting Warcraft 3 games day in and day out. Without his support, sometimes these games would just be, well, a little bit more mundane. So it often feels like when I watch some Warcraft 3 games from other Warcraft 3 games, I'm like, wow, the game's a little bit slower pace or not as interesting, and I forget that all the games that I cast here are of that variety, specifically chosen to be entertaining. As we see the Scroll of Town Portal now inbound to bring in the army. There you are, Archmage, Footman in position here. Arcane Tower is not even upgrading at all right now. Meanwhile, Entangle on a Grunt. That is going to be a very big deal here as the Keeper of the Grove can, well, continue those attacks again. Archmage trying to put in pressure. Farseer down to 40 hit points. Is it going to be able to get away? One more shot from the Farseer of Infi. Scroll of Town Portal needed. And, well, there goes that Farseer there. There's always a question whether or not you want to, well, Scroll of Town Portal back home, or if you want to just let it fall and give the experience and then resurrect. It's all about the time that the hero is out of action. And specifically for Orc players, because of the effectiveness of this healing salve and how fast it heals per second, it often makes sense to just use the Scroll of Town Portal, even though resurrecting replacing that Scroll of Talent Portal costs more than resurrecting. Farseer in the center looking to clear out some additional creep camp locations. Farseer wow, a Farseer coming across here of 15 Sway being extremely aggressive, clearing out the Fountain of Health creep camp. It has a lot of grunts here, and with the help of an archer as well, these grunts, because they are regenerative based off of your total hit points, these grunts are able to focus down quite nicely and go after these Null Overseer creep camps. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove was still trying to do a bit more harassment with some additional tree ants there, as the Farseer of Infi now coming across to put in a bit of pressure. All right, you can take a look here. Well, both sides have nearly full hit point units because of this Fountain of Health, but Infi does have Dire Wolves over the normal Spirit Wolves here. All right. Question is going to come in. Who's going to try and clear out these last remainder Null Overseers? Infi is going to clear out the Null Overseer pretty quickly just because, well, Chain Lightning going to go ahead and finish it off. Was the experience given? I'm not 100% sure if, well, if we saw 15 Sway get the experience, but the item definitely belongs to Infi as he picks up a Potion of Greater Mana. Back off to the north here, another Entangle going to pick off more of Infi's units again and again, and just trying to rack up a little bit more losses as these Dire Wolves now perhaps might want to retreat back. Down to the south side, a lot of action happening back and forth, and this is a benefit of playing arranged 2v2s. You know your opponent, your partners, and your opponent's level going into the match, and you kind of get a good sense of whether or not you're going to have to work alongside your partner, or whether you're able to just split the fight a little bit and put in pressure while you're away from the action. We can see this Entangled Gold Mine. Looks like it will get shut down here and be forced again as the Footmen are still putting down that pressure just as it was nearing to complete. Keeper of the Grove coming back across here. Excuse me, Keeper of the Grove coming back across here and able to protect this location. The Huntresses should be able to get in a good amount of glaive bounce damage. This one Footman shouldn't be enough to stop much as the Huntresses are still getting churned out. Meanwhile, Archmage sitting at level 2, only level 1 water elementals here, as this Wisp has nowhere to run and hide. Back in the, well, it looked like there was, nope. Look like there's some red footmen now wandering their way inside the base, and not the case. Meanwhile, we're looking at a bit of pressure on these orc burrows, but it looks like it will be defended well. Peons are going to go ahead and try and get some repairs in. Tauren Chieftain doesn't have a stomp to give, as we're looking at a lot of damage being added and repaired constantly. Meanwhile, Raider going to get taken down right there. The Tauren Chieftain does not have Endurance Aura, so I'm wondering what its ability is right now, and we may actually be low on resources, low on gold, and therefore unable to repair that orc burrow. All right, Scroll of Speed now joining in on the battle here. Farseer, Scroll of Speed trying to engage and get away as we see a shockwave rip on through, getting in some additional damage onto some more of those peons. Peons are getting pressured quite heavily. Meanwhile, Infi does have a Scroll of Town Portal, can get back out of this tough spot and will be doing exactly that. Tauren Chieftain just going to go ahead and get whisked back home at 52 hit points. And being that RT is still, well, yeah. I think anyone who is competitively strong in Warcraft 3 really plays on the W3 Champions servers, so you may want to try to give that a try, Dave. Coming back through, Huntress is now trying to chase after a large number of low hit point units. This could go very, very poorly for either sides, as the defensive fortifications make it difficult to try and engage here. Panda has plenty of mana here, so could easily blow over with some Breath of Fire, trying to get into that spot. Are we going to see some Breath of Fire damage? There we are. There goes one Footman getting blown over there, and now finishing off some more units. One Water Elemental getting, well, pounded into a puddle, as the Keeper of the Grove and the Panda looking to, well, put pressure at this 3 o'clock spot. Both sides are running up on 3 bases. Both sides are, well, playing pretty much 2 1v1 games simultaneously, as the Archmage uses a potion of healing to try and stay alive here. There's a Breath of Fire trying to blow things over. This Huntress looks like it will end up getting taken down, but forcing a Scroll of Town Portal, as we see a Stormbolt go down onto a Huntress as well. All right, units getting whisked and transferred away. Breath of Fire and the Archmage down to 2 hit points. He gets choked to death by the vines here, as now the Brewmaster is currently low on mana. Tauren Chieftain really wants to get some shockwaves, or get to level 2 to get some shockwaves going. Chain Lightning bouncing around here. A bunch of low hit point heroes. Keeper of the Grove being forced to retreat back. This Tauren Chieftain not going to be so lucky even with a Medallion of Courage. Wait. What? Medallion of Courage gives him just enough hit points, sitting at 19, a little bit of regeneration as the Ankh of Reincarnation is right there. Are we going to see a Shockwave? Yeah, a dangerous Shockwave position now trying to retreat back as this Tauren Chieftain gets back up again. He gets up to level 2. Is he going to turn around and perhaps get some stomps in? Yes, he does. A giant stomp right there. A tactical retreat trying to get away as the Panda sits at level 2 as well. Tauren Chieftain could throw down another stomp if necessary. That is a lot of low hit point units as the Tauren Chieftain now gets up to level 3. Scroll of Regeneration or Healings have now been used once more as Footmen. Well, come on, just one more shot right there. Yeah, go ahead and take that down. Meanwhile, Raiders getting lost again. All right, this has been a bloody battle on both sides. Both players constantly trying to get into position here. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Teal Army, who was able to get to the Fountain of Health sooner, and whoever has the Fountain of Health at their back on Lost Temple has a major advantage with all of that healing. Coming back off to the north here, units still trying to engage. We're looking at, well, Rifleman, Tauren Chieftain, Archmage, Farseer, 4-3-2. There goes one unit mounting, or what is this? Panda getting completely caught out in the open. Luckily, a Scroll of Town Portal was available to be transferred. Keeper of the Grove and company able to retreat back home. 35 supply, a bit low for the Night Elf, especially for someone who does have this expo. He actually has a very limited lumber count. That is the problem. Meanwhile, Teal sitting at 43 supply, going up against 46, and the human player who's sitting at 63. Yes, 63 for... TiMofan, yeah, 63 for TiMofan. He has the large rifleman army that is just going to be able to shoot through everything here. Greetings from Singapore. I don't know, my Cantonese is all right. Leho, you got Joseon, huh? All right, coming back around. Or I don't know. Is Singapore still Cantonese base or Singapore sling? Anyways, coming back through, we're looking at Dryads. Panda going to try and get a couple of Breath of Fires. That's a lot of riflemen in the back position. Drunken Haze does not go down on them as we see a Scroll of Town Portal now trying to retreat back out. Panda has to be a bit careful as the majority of the other army, however, does retreat back out. There goes that Ancient of Wonders. That's going to open things up here, but that might allow the Panda to get in more Drunken Haze Breaths of Fire as we see a Scroll of Town Portal inbound trying to catch a couple of units off guard. All right, Mountain King down to 24 hit points, and he is getting taken out or he is able to survive and teleport back home as well. That Mountain King was down to 24 hit points. Priest heals coupled with regeneration will get him back into the action. A 2v2 matchup with no undead. Still plenty of hero focusing and hero targeting going along. Mass raiders going up against mass riflemen. Ensnares could work out well, but in a large battle with so many units on the field, such as a 2v2, range really does often work out better. If more of your units are engaging and able to attack at a time than your opponents, well, you have a clear advantage. Panda here are going to be getting to level 3, and that is going to really strengthen that Breath of Fire. Are you a human player? Yes, I am. Well, back in the day, I played human. Oh, what is this? Come on, this grunt. That grunt was ripe for the picking, but instead, going straight for a couple of, going straight for the buildings, trying to do some hit and run tactics as well. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Spirit Wolf trying to join in. Farseer joins in here as we see an ensnare catch one of these units off guard. Meanwhile, we're looking at a large rifleman army walking its way over here. Panda does sit at level 3. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 3. One orb of venom here, and that is it. Ankh of Reincarnation on that Brewmaster should allow for some interesting strategies as the Keeper of the Grove, well, going to be buying a Scroll of Town Portal and now trying to take a trip back home to, defend this spot here. Panda, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, mid blow, unable to finish it off. There's that Breath of Fire damage now, as we see a bunch of healing going down to that Brewmaster. Brewmaster should have perhaps used the the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability right there. Staff of Preservation brings the Druid of the Claw already back here, and now trying to rack up a little bit more damage. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire blowing on through all of the Riflemen again. That damage is going to slowly add up as a bear gets taken down. More attacking and bashing its way through. Brewmaster is going to get another Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire off. There's another Breath of Fire. Finds a couple of easy units. There goes... Wow. I can't believe it again. The Mountain King able to escape sub 100 hit points once more, and now being healed by those priests again. Coming back across, still Tauren Chieftain wanting to get to level 3 here will be able to do exactly that. Still level 1 endurance, or I should have picked up the Toma strength, but looking to do some more hit and run tactics on the main base of Infi. Infi now transitioning into Wind Riders with Envenomed Spears. Remember, Envenomed Spears, that poison does stack if it is being applied by different targets. That is a very big deal indeed. Are we going to see a couple of ensnares? Yes, we are. Ensnares, and now going after that bestiary, trying to stop or slow down the production here, and those raiders really do deal significant damage. Do we see Pillage? Yeah, Pillage is on a line as well. One already taken down, and we can now see the fortress perhaps getting a bit pressured. Are we going to see a shockwave? No. Scroll of Town Portal. And where is that Scroll of Town Portal heading off to? Trying to just retreat back here, and both sides getting into position. Or no, Staff of Preservation trying to bring back that Druid of the Claw. All right, Farsi are still wandering around here. Raiders, Tauren Chieftain now making their way across to the center of this Fountain of Health, as we see a couple of watchtowers try to get established. Raiders, however, with that siege damage, should have no problems taking down these watchtowers, as we are getting a bit of heals as we're passing across this Fountain of Health. Meanwhile, a Panda with plenty of Breath of Fire has really racked up a bit of damage, but with only one Staff of Preservation, unable to save that second Druid of the Claw. All right, Brewmaster trying to jump into this spot here. Are we going to see a Potion of Mana be used? Archmage falls at level 3. There's another Breath of Fire trying to rack up a little bit more damage as an Arcane Tower finishes things off. Entangle onto the Mountain King. Mountain King has nowhere to go. It's going to get taken down as well, as the Brewmaster could perhaps get in another Breath of Fire across multiple Riflemen here. Units are getting picked off. Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat, and this is going after the main town hall. Main town hall of Teal. Teal loses his main town hall, but an expo is lost in the process as well. More Wind Riders are trying to get added. These raiders are now trying to make their way across, perhaps going to be able to take down multiple buildings here. Tauren Chieftain is in position, as in comes more damage again. All right, Tauren Chieftain, are we going to see a Chain Lightning Shockwave as Scroll of Town Portal is trying to retreat back again. Third base, so it is 3 bases to 3, and this is turning into a giant base race scenario, as the town hall here is about to fall. All right, Shadow Wolves coming across here once more. Raiders, these raiders really need to heal at the center of the map, and I gotta give them a hat off, tip my hat off to 15 Sway and Sini, who are doing a great job capitalizing on this Fountain of Health. However, in comes Infi's army, and here we go. This is going to be the big battle here. Wind Riders are in position. Raiders are, well, taking quite a bit of damage from those Wind Riders, even with medium armor, as a Druid of the Claw is going to get taken down as well. All right, feels like Infi and TiMofan, TiMofan. Oh, that's why it sounds Tim Hoan. Okay. That's why it sounds familiar to me. All right, anyways, coming back around, Panda once more has multiple potions of mana. Should be able to blow things over across here in just a second. This town hall is already done. This keep is under duress. 27 over 66 supply compared to 62 over 92. The supply lead has changed for that red army. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove going to try and engage here. There's a shockwave catching a Druid of the Claw while still in Druid form. Panda wants to get some Drunken Haze Breath of Fires across. Still has a Potion of Mana to try and follow this up, as damage is racking up. There goes a Stomp. Tauren Chieftain, however, the level 5 variety, is going to be able to put down his foot as well, as both sides are exchanging blows again and again. Farseer, Chain Lightning, trying to Potion of Invulnerability, going to stay alive. There's a Tauren Chieftain Stomp as well, as Infi's Farseer could, well, come get taken down, and that is going to be the game. A beautiful back and forth game here, as Infi and Tihowan end up falling to oh my goodness, as Sini and Sinai and 15 Sway, those hit and run tactics across the center, constantly just chipping away at those units. It felt like Infi had the higher or had strong hero levels, but Night Elf 15 Sway also able to catch up once more. Overall, let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.